Hey there crew, it's Mark, and in today's video we are doing our very first ink swap. If you've never heard of these before, this is when fountain pen lovers and ink lovers come together in the community and they mail each other ink samples to try new things that maybe you're not quite sure about just yet. Sometimes you're sharing your favorite inks, sometimes you're requesting certain ones. And what I loved about this process is that everyone does it a little bit differently. So what I'm gonna do in today's video is go over the process of how I prepared myself for an ink swap. Also talk about how Julia and Harmony both have their stuff set up, which is very different from mine. And then I'll go ahead and show you how I prepared their inks, swatched them out, made a little package for them. And what's really cool is that right as I was about to finish this video, their ink swaps came in the mail for me. So we'll go ahead and unwrap those today, take a look at the inks that they sent and that I requested from them, see how they package their things together, and overall, just an ink celebration. So my very first step in this process was getting my ink swatch library in order so that others could see what they could select from. So in a previous video, I created a digital swatch book for myself using Airtable, and I've gone ahead and cataloged every single ink that I have in my collection. I have them organized by name, by brand, also the properties and swatches that exist, so if I'm ever looking for something, I can find it really nice and easily. What I love about Airtable so much is that not only can I create a database for myself, right, and have all of my swatches and all of my colors there, but I can also create forms and other views that make it easier for people to see what they want. So I was able to share my overall gallery with both of them. They were able to go through and find the inks that they may have wanted. And then I had a form that I set up where they could go ahead and request the 3 inks from me for them. And that was also helpful for me so that I could remember what they wanted. When they went ahead and filled out that form, I created another view for myself, which is almost kind of like an order form in a way on this Kanban board. And that way I could also keep track of where I was in my status. I received it, I'm gonna go ahead and place that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and send it and ship it to them as well. We'll start with Harmony's first. So her and I had a conversation because we're both ambassadors for Ferris Wheel Press. There was a mix-up where she actually didn't get her previous month's order, so she wanted to get some samples of those. So she requested the Bayou Berry Mist and the Billowing Blush. She also requested the Colorverse Korea Turtle Ship as well. What's really cool about having everything out on a desk is that I can kind of go shopping in my own space, which is super cool. I also wanted to create a swatch for each of these inks that she requested too. Even though she may do it on her own, this is just a really fun part of the process that I was looking forward to doing. To create the swatches, I just grabbed a little drop of ink and then used my clear spoon method for my swatch. I didn't want to create too much of a mess, so I just used regular fountain pen black ink for the descriptions for each of these. So we had the Ferris Wheel Press Bayou Berry Mist, Ferris Wheel Press Billowing Blush, and then the Colorverse Korea Turtle Ship. Since I had extra space on the other side of this page, I also just wanted to write her a really quick note of something extra to put inside of the package, mostly thanking her for doing the swap with me and being open to it, but also for being an amazing influencer and always showing me the coolest inks and pens out there. For the next part of our process, we have to fill up our sample bottle. So I got all of these supplies off of Amazon and I'll link all of them for you down in the descriptions below. But what I have are these quick little suction cups that hold on to the sample bottles. I am absolutely terrified of spilling ink all over the place and I don't trust myself. So these were great. I could just stick them right to my desktop and be good to go. I also really like these sample bottles because they have the measurements right on the side and they also have a leak protected cap as well. What I love about ink swaps is the opportunity to try different inks before you buy a full bottle. So for the Ferris Wheel Press ones, those come in pretty large bottles anyway, so I had no problem giving her a larger sample size of it. But the Korea Turtle Ship though, I forgot was a smaller bottle and I've already used it because I love it so much. So I just made her a smaller sample size for that one. To make things even easier for her, I wanted to make sure she could easily see what we had. So I went ahead and created labels with my label maker and then put those on each of the different containers. So all of those are set. I have my swatch and my little note to Harmony, so that's ready to go ahead and pack up. All right, so Julia's was next, so let's go ahead and see the colors that she picked as a part of the swap. So the first thing we got is Birmingham Pen Company's Electric Pentina. This is one of my absolute favorite colors in my entire collection. I don't know what it is about it, it just looks so good, whether it's coming out of a pen or a dip pen. It's a great choice, Julia. The next color that she got was the Birmingham Pen Company's Ohio River. And then one of my other new favorite colors was from Waring Gall, the TikTok Croc. Honestly, she picked almost all of my favorite colors. That's why I know Julia and I work so well together. So doing the same thing that I did for Harmony, I went ahead and created a swatch page over on the left-hand side, swatching each, writing the names and the titles for each of those. I wrote her a real quick thank you note and so excited that she was one of my first people to swap with. And then I went ahead and filled each of her vials as well, labeling each of them and getting them ready to ship to her. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm always interested how people work, especially with these ink swaps, and being new to it, I wasn't sure what to expect. I had the way that I wanted to work with it, but what is cool, Harmony and Julia both had two different ways that they worked with their ink swaps. So with Harmony, she was like, hey, I don't have anything fancy like you have here with a database and a form and everything else. Go ahead and take a look through my Instagram feed, and if you see anything that you like, let me know. So I took a little trip through and I found some really beautiful inks that she had. Like I mentioned, she has beautiful handwriting. I love the way that she swatches, so I picked out 3 inks from her, and I'm very excited to take a look at those. So I let her know which ones I wanted to get, sent them along, and then she went ahead and sent me out a package, which we'll check out in just a moment. Then I got to swap with Julia, and Julia is actually using a completely different method than what Harmony was using, which is just go through my feed, which is totally okay with me. Also, she didn't have an Airtable or database like I have. Instead, she was using a different website. She has all of her inks over on fountainpencompanion.com. And what's cool is that you can sign up and keep track of your inks and your pens and what you're using. It has a brand index. You can also create a public list of your inks so that if you want to swap or compare with others, you can. And overall, very cool, and I thought it was pretty neat. So Julia shared her link, so I was able to go through and check out everything that she had in hers. So what's cool is it's organized similarly to mine. You have the brand, you have the ink. There's also a spot that they have on there on categorizing the type of container that your ink is in. So is it in a bottle or is it already a sample? I like this so much that I actually added it to my own catalog, and that way as people are picking, they can also see whether it's a bottle or a sample as they're picking and choosing between the inks. Now, one thing that I didn't like about the Fountain Pen Companion that I like a little bit more about the way that I do it is that they don't have actual swatches of the inks. Instead, they just have kind of color blocks on there. Well, I think this is super helpful if you're just looking for a basic ink color or you want to filter by that, that's great. But personally, I love being able to look at the actual swatch. What does that look like on paper or when I write with it? It's a little bit different. While I was going through her full list here, I was taking a look essentially at what I don't have, looking a little bit at some of the colors and the features and things like that. But honestly, it picked a lot just by the names. So let's go ahead and take a look at Harmony's and Julia's ink swaps that they did with me. Super pumped. All right, so let's go ahead and open up Harmony's first. So if we go ahead and take everything out of here, we have a cool little envelope that we have, and we have inks. Oh, we were only supposed to do 3. She sent me 5. All right, inside of here, she actually included a swatch list, which I absolutely love. I'm glad I did one for mine as well. She also added a really nice note inside of here too. Mark, I hope you like the inks. Thanks for being such a light in this community. That was super nice. Thanks, Harmony. All right, so let's take a real quick look at everything in here. So we have a Diamine Harmony, which is perfect for her. How nice to have an ink named after yourself. There is the Blue Ringed Octopus Blue. So this is one that I didn't ask for, but she included in here, probably because she's like, Mark, you're gonna love this. And I absolutely do. Look at that shading on that. That looks so beautiful. All right, Earl Grey Tea. This is the one that I did send her just because I don't have anything like that in my collection. We also have this Dominant Industry run here. I cannot say the name of this one, but it's this beautiful green with a little bit of like a gold shimmer in there. I thought it looked absolutely stunning. The Troublemaker Inks, this abalone one, I also sent to her too. Just love the way that shading looked on there. It's amazing. So it was super awesome for her to send the extra inks. I mean, I should have sent her more now. I should have known better. Been like, here's some of my other favorites, but next time. So let's go ahead and open up Julia's next. So we've got a bunch of cool stuff inside of here. We have our note, we have some stickers it look like, and then we have 3 of the inks that I asked her for. Inside the note, we've got a beautiful envelope. This is so nice. And then a nice little handwritten note. Thanks for doing an ink swap with me. I hope you enjoy these, some dark and moody faves for sure. Thanks, Julia. And she's from New Mexico, so we got this little New Mexico stamp on here. That's pretty neat. Now, she also sent over some stickers that she has, which I think is awesome. I think she makes these herself. Yes, she does. Currently inked. We also have some of the different pen sizes on here. We also have just some fountain pen nibs as stickers. I absolutely love that. Now, let's go ahead and check out these samples. So the first one here is this Rohrer and Klinger. I have actually never heard of them before, so I was like, hey, new name to me, let's check this out. There's this Verdigris inside of here. Maybe I'm saying that wrong, I'm not sure. Then Diamine Oxblood. This is one that I hear people talk about all the time, and I've just been like ever so close to buying a whole bottle of it, but I wasn't quite sure if I was ready for like a blood red, red-orange type of color, so the sample, perfect for me. And then also this J. Herbin one here. This is called Emerald of Shiver. No idea what that means. I just looked it up and it looked really cool. So let's go ahead and swatch these out since she didn't have a swatch inside of here, just to see what they look like on paper. Now, Julie was totally on point when she said that I picked out some very moody colors. I don't know why I was so drawn to these, but just something about the names and the way they looked were just so awesome. And like I said before, the Oxblood is just one that I've seen a lot of people talk about before, so excited to have it as a part of my collection. This process was super fun. I loved everything from receiving the requests to picking them out, shopping my shelves, and then getting the swatches and the vials together. It was all very fun. If you're interested in the materials that I use to create those vials and those little swap samples and things like that, I'll put them all down in the descriptions for you below. That way you can find like the vials that I use, the label makers, kind of anything that maybe you don't already have that you want to fill in before you go into it. And I'd also love to hear from you in the comment section down below if you've ever done an ink swap or a stationery swap with a friend before, and let me know what that experience was like for you. And just love sharing those stories and getting people excited about doing fun stuff like this. Now, if you're interested in checking out how I put together my swatch book, my digital swatch book in Airtable, I'll go ahead and pop a video over here for you so you can check that one out right now. And I'll talk to you next time, friends. See ya.